Yay! Okay, so this is Sacred Space with me, Chris Young-Ginzburg, your meditation guide of Grove Circle Healing. So today I was thinking, I didn't have a plan. And then this morning I was like, what am I going to teach them today? I was like, ooh, this is a good one. Today we're going to be learning about energy cords. Does anybody here not know what an energy cord is? Yay! So I would love to hear both of your explanations on what you understand an energy cord is before I begin my spiel.
It's a connector. It is, I mean, as far as I understand it, because I have done a little bit of work on cutting cords.
Great.
Um, Energetically, it is the connection between you and that other person, and that can be either positively or negatively charged. And it's my understanding is you should go through every once in a while and just sort of like clip, 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 clean yourself up, welcome back your energy that you've given out to that other person with love, and return theirs back to them also with love. So it's a positive experience, whether the energy was positive or negative.
Well done. Great.
Mhm.
Thanks for sharing, Sheridan. How about you, Heather? What's your understanding of energy cords?
Well, pretty much exactly what Sheridan said. And yeah, I actually did have the thought for the first time that maybe some chords could be positive. Um, Usually they've been referred to me as like negative, but it's funny you said that, Sheridan, because I really was picking up on some positive chords.
Totally.
So yeah, I'm interested to learn more about that, and I have more to learn about that in general. But yeah, we create these energetic cords with people because we're more than just our bodies. We are energy, and we connect with each other in positive, negative, neutral ways all the time.
Totally. Yeah. So you both are correct. Okay. And so my understanding and my training in the psychic school that I went to of energy cords is they literally are cords of energy. They're like, I always think of them as like, do you remember those the Chinese finger cuffs where they like suck on your fingers and you can't pull them apart? Have you ever seen those?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that. They're like little, they get stuck and they bond. And if you think about energy cords, we use it in our language. We say like the ties that bind, cutting the cord, someone's pulling on me. I feel pulled in different directions. Guess what? That's energy cords, right? We've had this in our language, and a lot of people don't understand what they're saying, but what they're actually saying is that I have an energy cord with someone. So, and they're, like you both said, they can be positive ones or negative ones. And it's basically like a tube of energy. It's like a signal that goes between a person and someone that you're bonded with. Okay. So positive ones could be like children, siblings, parents, long-term coworkers, really dear friends, people that you feel like you have really good connections with, that feed you, you feed them. It's like an equal exchange. There's an equal exchange going through the tube or the cord, right? And then, of course, there's negative ones where you can get into courting type relationships where negative behavior can be associated. Drug users together have a lot of cords with each other. A lot of drug users. That's kind of very typical. They also have entities in their space where the entities is like, woo, they're partying with them, and they like feed off of this energy, right? But energy cords are basically like that. They're draining, where you feel controlled, unbalanced. That's how you can tell the difference between the two. Ex-partners, very typical to get into courting with, and especially if you end on unpleasant, like in unpleasant ways, things feel incomplete. And what's interesting about cords is so funny is that, I've experienced this in my own world, because my ex-boyfriend, the one before my husband, I felt pretty complete with him, but I would have dreams about him a lot. I'm like, why is this guy like but he died during COVID. And so he comes up in my dreams a lot. He's like always trying to find me. He felt very incomplete because he had a lot of trauma in his life, and he didn't complete with me. He just left. Like when I said I wanted to break up, he's like, he just left all of his things, left all of his stuff. Like it was very incomplete. So for him, I feel like he still holds on to stuff and like he keeps visiting me. So I'll obviously have to keep working on the cord there because he keeps trying. He keeps needing to come back and like complete something, right? So those are ways that cords can happen. You know, exes are super typical for that type of stuff. And also just people that we interact with, maybe they're coworkers or even, different people that we get really lit up by, and then we keep thinking about them. That's actually how you send energy to people. You don't realize you're giving your energy away. It's like if you're ruminating over something over and over and over, like thinking about the scenario, like what coulda, shoulda, woulda, or, things that literally feel incomplete. And if you're thinking about that person, guess what you're doing? You're sending them your energy. So what I do with psychic tools, I know that you both have learned like the golden sun tool. You remember that where you call in that big bubble? Did you learn that one, Heather, when I taught you guys earlier this year from Evolution?
Yes, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
So we'll use that today since you both know about that, the golden sun. It's like a big empty bubble you put above your head, and it's an opportunity for you to call your energy back from anything that you release consciously out of your space. And then you pull that bubble into your space, and then it replenishes you in all the ways that, you need to be replenished. But cords can really be like that. Like, and again, if you're ruminating over something, like, people that just go over and over the scenario over and over, they're just sending that cord. And each time, if you think about that, a pattern is something that you think about over and over. And what does it do? It reaffirms it, right? It's like a belief system, right? It's a reaffirming of like what happened, the scenario, whatever. So you're really making that the bond stronger. And people, whether they're connected to you or not, like literally, like if they don't see you in their reality or your reality, you'll pop up in their mind. Because if you're sending them that energy, we're all very sensitive. We're going to pick up on it. We'll pick up in a dream or just be like, man, I'm thinking about this person. Like, why am I thinking about this person? Because they're sending you energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's through the form of an energy cord. And what I also learned too is that if you have any physical ailments that are, like physical pain that comes up reoccurringly and you can't understand like what it is or like where it's coming from, that could also be a part of the energy cord. So we're going to explore that today in the meditation
around that.
Yeah.
Okay. So could that be related to so familial illnesses or illnesses that sort of travel in, like everybody in my family has X, right? Mm-hmm. So it's in our genetic line.
Right.
So you see ancestors or family members, 4 or 5 generations back, they had this same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be cords? Could that be just like transgenerational trauma? Is there a dividing line? Could it be both? Could it be intermingled, between you and one particular ancestor that's passed that you're corded to?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've had a past life with that person, so I'm just kind of wondering how nuanced that is.
Yes. So it's a very complex question because it can be a multitude of different things. Yes, it could be courting. It could be courting intergenerationally. It could be courting with one person. It could also be spiritual agreement based. Like you come in with a spiritual contract saying, I'm going to go through this thing. I may decide to go through this thing like everybody else did, or I could be the one person that decides like, hey, I'm going to break this thing, right? Or it could be, oh God, there was something else I was going to say and I just lost my train of thought. It's dropped call. I had a dropped call. Boom. Well, I guess it'll come back if it needs to come, but it's a pretty complex question. Mm-hmm. So it can be a lot of different things. And, when we do this meditation, you can look at that specifically. Mm-hmm. You can look at it and come back with your information if it feels, multi-generational, or if it feels corded with one specific person. It could be, a contract, a spiritual contract. I remember what I was going to say. Yay, there's my call. I'm picking it back up. It could be from another dimension of time. like people call it past life. It could be something from there. I mean, it's again, a very complex question. But, courting itself is normally between two people.
Okay.
And it could be, and if people are in polyamory, they're like more than one relationship, they can have cords between,
Oh, yeah.
whatever other people. I mean, again, this can get pretty complex. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. This can be very rabbit hole-ish, right? And again, the complexity of things can be pretty powerful. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Now, another way that you can kind of check in to see if you have any courting is to look at, where are any of my relationships unbalanced? Where have any of them, like, where do I feel like there's unfinished business between me and someone else? And this can even be with people on the other side.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's, again, another question to ask is like the imbalance in relationships. And then also, like, do I have pretty persistent pain in a specific area? And I don't know what this is from. It's not from an injury. It's not from whatever. Like, what is this thing? Because it could be a cord. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we are going to look at, like, I mean, if you want to pick one of those topics, like, okay, I might have an idea of an unbalanced relationship. Like, I want to let my body guide me into where that is. Or I have persistent pain in this one area. Like, I want to know what the heck is going on here. Like, is there a cord in there? Like, who is it? Right? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same kind of guided meditation that I do with how I start all my meditations. We're going to breathe. We're going to check in. We're going to let the body show you where to go. Okay. Whatever area wants to get your attention. It could be the persistent pain, or just like somewhere where you might feel you have an unbalanced relationship. You go into that area. We'll do the steps to get in there. And then once you're in there, you're going to be in a room. We're going to create a room in this area. Look around, see if it looks familiar, if it's taking you to a memory or another area of time, anything that provokes, like, oh, so maybe an epiphany or like curiosity even. I always just invite people to be very curious. Get really curious around what you're experiencing here, and be an observer. Like, really just be like, wow, what is this I'm experiencing? What am I seeing? What am I witnessing? Look around. Notice anything you're picking up on, like, any sensations, again, any memories, any thoughts. And then we're going to look down at our body in this room and look where the cord is. Okay, we're going to look like, oh, it's there. Look at what the cord looks like. What is its texture? How big is it? How small is it? Does it feel old? Does it feel older than this lifetime? Does it feel beyond this lifetime? I'm going to walk you through all those steps, okay? And then we're going to travel to the other end of it. And then, who's sending this cord? Am I sending it? Are they sending it? And then what we're going to do is we're going to heal it. Okay. Maybe you update it. You just update the cord into present time, or you completely release it. Okay. And then when that happens, watch how your body feels, watch what happens to the other person. And, I will just say this to both of you are on this call at the moment, but if there's other people listening to this, in some cases, it can be a multitude of people in one cord. It can be groups. Okay. So just pay attention and just to, again, observe out of curiosity who and what comes up. And then just know that also in this meditation, whoever or whatever comes up is in agreement with you in this moment to look at it. They're already watching. They know, like, we're about to work on this together. So either they want to heal it, they want to give you some communication, or vice versa, or both, right? And so there's already an agreement going on in the space with people who are ready to, or a person or whatever that's ready to work on this with you. Okay. So does anybody have any questions before we begin? No? Cool. Okay. So start thinking about what your intention is as well. So what do you want to get information on with this cord? Not only who is it from, but do you want to end this entirely? Do you want to update this thing? Like, what is it? Because if you already have someone popping in your mind, that might be the person or people that come through. And then what is your relationship like? And, what do you want to do with all of this? Because intention is a part of it as well. Okay. And it's okay if you want to totally cut it. Okay. And, cords can come back. They can. Okay. So not to say that it will if you do cut this cord, if that's something that you decide to do, but just know, like, when you get your information about this cord, be curious and really take in the information, because if it ruminates within you again, you could possibly recreate that specific cord. And so, what is the most healing thing out there? Forgiveness and love, right? So, whoever or whatever comes up, just remember to remind yourself that this is essentially what you're doing here. You're forgiving, you're loving, and you're also reclaiming or giving back energy to that person. Okay. All right. Are you both ready to begin? Yay. All right. So can you both hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great. A little time check. And so after we do this meditation, we'll have a little share circle around what came up, and then, I'll answer any questions or share more around anything about energy cords. Okay. So again, start thinking about your intention. Do you want to go into like a chronic physical pain that you might have, or, any imbalanced relationship or whatever that you want to have for your intention today with their energy cord? Okay. All right. So everyone go ahead and take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Say hello to your body. How does your body feel as a whole? Notice any sensations moving through your body as we've been talking about energy cords, maybe anything that got lit up in your body or your space that's moving around, maybe discomfort or maybe some new sensations that might be awake in your body or your energy field. And again, just breathing into this moment, knowing that your body and your energy and your soul is ready to get information and clarity around any energy cords or an energy cord in your body that's no longer serving you, that you either want to update, heal, or cut entirely. And with your intention in mind and heart, just start to scan your body and notice one particular area that might be calling to you the most. Maybe it's your gut or the base of your spine or your heart or your throat. Just bring all of your awareness into that specific area. And then just take a moment to breathe into that space, feeling the gentleness of your breath going in and out of that space, no matter what sensation you might be experiencing as you bring your awareness there. And as you bring your awareness into this particular area, what is the sensation that you're picking up on in this particular spot? Is it light? Is it heavy? Is it prickly? Is it bouncy? Is it dense? Anything that you're noticing. And then if this place were to have a color, this texture were to have a color, what would the color be? And then if this texture and color were to have an emotion, what would the emotion be? So just breathe into that color, into the texture, into the emotion. Give it your full presence. And then when you're ready, create a tiny little miniature version of yourself and walk right into that color, texture, and emotion as if it were a room. And as you walk into this room, what does this room look like? Does this place look familiar? Is the room small or is it big? Does it have windows? Is there a floor? Look down where your feet are. Look behind you. Get really curious, like, where are you right now? And take a deep breath. And if you're feeling uncomfortable in this room, you can also widen it with your imagination if it's too small. Or you can make some slight changes so you feel a little more comfort being in this space. Or if you're okay with where you are, it's all right. You can just give yourself a moment to breathe and be in this space, looking around, being curious and noticing if you have any memories coming up, any sensations coming up, any epiphanies coming up. And breathing, just being with. And then when you're ready, I want you to take a look down on your body and notice where you see a cord coming out. Maybe it's in that specific area where you were brought into in the meditation. And as you look at this cord and the attachment to your body, what does it look like? Does it look like a hook? Does it look like a suction cup? Does it just look like a tube, connected to your body? Get curious about what this thing looks like when it's actually attached to you. Does it look like a vacuum tube? Does it feel like a bond? Does it feel loose, this attachment? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel stuck? Put your hands around the area of where this is attached. Now, don't try and pull it off. Just get curious around if it feels loose, kind of shake it a little bit or move it. Does it feel like it's coming off? Or is it pretty stuck there? Just out of curiosity. And as you're connected with this energy cord, what is the color of it? It could be a multitude of colors. What is the texture of it? Does it have a skin? Is it, like a tube? Anything that you're noticing, getting real detailed in here. And as you tune your energy into this cord, see if you can even pick up on a sound. What does the cord sound like? Mhm. And as you're picking up on any sounds, does it have any memories that come up for you if you're hearing anything? And pay attention to any emotions that might be coming up if you're tuning into this. Sounds or the colors, the texture, breathing. And now let's bring our awareness. Let's follow this tube, this cord, this energy cord to the very end of it. And who or what is on the other end? Does it feel really distant from you? Does it feel really close to you? Does it feel like it's in the ethers or in physical earth plane? And who or what is on the other end? Is this person or group or whatever you're experiencing on the other end of this energy cord, are they familiar? And why do you think this is cording between you both? Is it tied to a memory? Is it tied to an experience? Is it tied intergenerationally? And who is sending this cord? Are you sending it or are they sending it? And as you tune into this cord, knowing who and what it comes from, Just see if you can play with the idea of why it's there. How is it serving you, even in this moment? Noticing what you're picking up on. And do you still want to be running that energy in your body through this cord? Do you want to completely let go of this cord? Do you want to cut it? Do you want to update this cord into present time? So knowing what you know now between you and this cord and this person or beings or group, whatever's on the other end of this cord, take your hands and place your hands on the cord. And I want you to imagine that this beautiful golden light is coming into the room and into your crown of your head, through your heart and out your hands and into this cord. This is the energy of Source coming in to help you heal this cord and to dissolve any aspects of the cord that are no longer serving you or the other being on the other side or beings. Bringing this beautiful light into your body and anywhere this cord was attached to you. This golden light will either update this cord to present time. So today's date of this recording is September 26th, 2023. Updating this cord right into present time, releasing any and all dimensions of time not aligned with present time that keep you stuck in old patterns, old energy exchanges. That's now releasing. And watch this cord as it fills up with light, as the energy goes back to that person or group and your energy comes back to you. And maybe the cord is getting thinner. Maybe it's getting lighter. And maybe it totally dissolved. Maybe if it had been cut. Or if you're noticing that the cord is still there, just allow this gold light to be there, right in present time. And if your cord just wants to be updated, that's okay. Just let it be there and be updated in this beautiful golden healing light. And as this golden light is coming into your body, going through this cord to the other beings or being, what are you noticing that's happening to the person on the other end of the cord? Do they feel okay with being healed through this cord? Are they having some resistance to letting go of this cord? Just notice what you notice. And if you notice that this person is having resistance, or you're just noticing that there is a person on the other end that you'd like to say something to, this is an opportunity for you to speak to them and tell them about how you feel about the cord, as if they were courting you. But if you're courting them, you can also explain to them why you were giving them your energy. This can be an opportunity to just have a quick conversation, so I will give you a moment to do that. Taking deep breaths, realizing that you're doing some really beautiful deep healing in the moment. You're serving yourself and you're serving the other. And then start to bring the conversation to a close. And as your conversation is completing, thank the person or whoever showed up for you on the other side of the cord. And now look down at the cord. What is the state of the cord? And then if the cord is totally released, you can bring your hands over to that area of your body. Send it some love. And then you notice the other person that was on the other end or the group, they're fading into the distance, knowing that they got a healing just like you. So either things have been updated or completely released. And then you're going to be coming back from this meditation with all of the information that will serve you in this moment regarding the energy cord, why it was there, who it was, what it was about, for your greater awareness, your greater consciousness. Coming back into your body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and rub your hands together. We're going to put that empty golden bubble, the golden sun, above our heads. And then call back any of your energy from that person, place, or whatever came up for you. You can even fill it up with some of that, more of that gold healing light that came through for you in this meditation, or any other colors that are rejuvenating and refreshing and illuminating to your soul and your being. And then just watch as that bubble fills up. Beautiful lights coming in for you. And then you can pull it down, pull that bubble down into your space. And as you do, it pops and all of your energy returns to your body, especially to that area where you released. And then just go ahead and slowly wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders. Slowly come back from the meditation. When you're ready, you can slowly open up your eyes. Welcome back, magical beings. How was that for you all? Anybody want to share?
It was wonderful. I'll go ahead and share. Um, I don't remember the exact words that you ran us through, but I was really feeling a lot of energy, like around my belly button area, the sacral chakra.
Yeah.
Or is that, yeah. And then I had a memory of being pregnant with my son in the bathtub, and I was hearing water, and I was remembering a moment when I decided to keep him. So I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought at that point, the right thing to do would be to not go forward with the pregnancy. And I knew I had to keep him. And I was really afraid about the circumstances with his father and I.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to bring him into a better world, a better situation.
Yeah.
But I've carried a lot of guilt around that. And that cord was, made up of that guilt.
Wow, Heather, congratulations.
Yeah. And I just, going through the process, I really felt it totally dissolve. And yeah, it just, that's been, it's 18 years now.
Wow.
He's 18 years old now. And
Wow.
so that's powerful.
Wow, Heather, what a birthday gift to yourself. You created a bunch of space.
Right. In the room I was in, I was seeing like a small chapel with like stained glass cathedral windows. And I really got that it's time for me to be like a safe place for him.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been felt safe to come to me to like be in sanctuary and go through his feelings because of that guilt. I just,
Wow.
would take a lot of responsibility and have a hard time helping him process it. So what a gift. Yes, this is perfect timing.
Wow, Heather, that's powerful. And one thing I forgot to mention, when you do work like this, it changes your relationship with that person.
Yeah.
For sure. So he feels it now.
Yeah.
Might be a lot lighter around him now because you're not carrying that bond of guilt.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to go home because he had a soul session with a soul ascension psychic channeler
Uh-huh.
today.
Oh my God. How perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done, Heather. That's deep work you just did
Mhm.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad I
Mhm.
was able to come and join this today.
Well, I think you were drawn to it for that specific thing. You were really ready to let that guilt go. And, you release that burden from your son.
Right.
It's it's the stuff we don't realize, like the subconscious binds that we have, and they're subconscious until we do stuff like this where it really takes you in and go, oh, the curiosity, like, what is this? Whoa, that's there. Like, yeah. So you gave him a gift as well. Well done, Heather. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. How about you, Sheridan? How was that for you?
You know what? It was interesting. I actually, so, like in the last year, my mom has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was interesting is that I knew that this was going to be what came up because I'm totally I'm having so much contact with my brother
Mm-hmm.
through, um, the sale of my mom's home,
Yeah.
where he has been living for the last like 12 years or so. And he's going to be leaving there. And what's interesting is, I knew that that would be what was going to show up today. But the interesting thing is that, so when I got down in the room, it was really dark,
Mm.
heavy. It was connected to my root chakra.
Uh-huh.
So like I could feel it on like in my tailbone, and my lower back was hurting. So the imagery that came up, actually, this is really kind of odd. It was almost like the cord, it it was part of me. It was like almost like an extension of my tailbone.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like almost like a dragon tail, or
Cool.
where the wild things are. It had
Yeah.
like scales on it and
Cool.
stuff. Um, but then what was really interesting is when I traced the cord, it of course it was my brother, but it was when he was a little boy and he was hiding in the dark.
Interesting. Oh,
He was hiding in the dark. And um as we lightened up the cord, I could see, his face start to lighten and the light sort of coming back into him.
mm-hmm.
And the cord stayed present, but it wasn't connected to my rear end anymore. It was in my hand.
Interesting.
It felt more like a choice rather than, that gotcha
Right.
thing. So I guess, what that says to me more is, moving forward, there's choice in it, I guess, and maybe not so much that, almost like that guilt, that constricted type, because that was a feeling that went along with it. It felt heavy, felt
Mm-hmm.
constricted, and it didn't feel that way towards the completion of it. So, it'll be interesting to see because, like I said, there's been so much contact. And my brother can be really explosive, very
Mm-hmm.
super intense. And, that's hard for me to manage and keep my footing because he was really, he was very mean to me and bullied me when I was a kid.
Is he older or younger?
He's older,
Okay.
but he's never acted that way. I always,
Mm,
I mean, like all throughout life, he's just sort of been his own, doing his own thing,
mhm.
pretty self-centered, pretty selfish, not available to help do anything or support. I think he's a much younger soul than I am.
Right.
And I think he's, there was some weird contracts and weird past life stuff that went on between all of my family members. So, yeah, I don't think this is our first go around, but I think that, he's a younger soul than I am.
Yeah. And I love that you saw him as a little boy, because that's the truth of where this cord is related to.
I
You know,
think
s-
so.
Oh, for sure. For
Mhm.
sure. Yeah. It's, there's an inner child in him that's pretty upset. That's what it sounds like.
I just think that, we both had a pretty traumatic childhood.
Hmm.
And because he's the older child, he was aware of the separation and divorce of my parents, whereas
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
So his loss in that process was exponentially
I'm
larger
sure.
than mine, because he was old enough to experience that loss.
Mhm.
Whereas I was 10 months old when my parents split and divorced.
Mhm.
And he was like closer to 3.5.
Right.
So, it was the scarring and the injury for him from that, I think, was much, much more profound.
Gotcha. And knowing what you know now about, this courting between you and your brother, how does that change any aspect of your relationship with him, even if it's a perspective?
I think I've been working towards that perspective, trying to understand it for a really long time.
Hmm.
So, I think maybe what I'm hoping for is that it completes the cycle. That, like I said, in moving forward, it's an opportunity for choice.
Hmm.
Or it's not, because, I've done the very best I can for him here to sort of set him
Hmm.
in moving forward.
Hmm.
Um, and he's going to be leaving the state. And so, just sending him off with, as much good intention, as much abundance as possible.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that just sort of sets things in
Yeah.
that place.
I don't know what your relationship was like with your brother when it comes to communicating about stuff like this, but could you talk to him about that specific time with the
Yeah,
divorce?
I think, we've touched on it, and I don't necessarily know that he is able to synthesize the information in the same way.
Hmm.
Um, I've talked about this, and I have acknowledged it to him. Um, and whether or not he's really internalized that and thought
Sure.
about it,
Hmm.
um, I don't know.
Well, maybe in this moment he did, because we're all connected.
It'll be interesting to see what comes back to me
Right.
from this,
Right.
actually, because there is so much interface right now.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna be waiting and seeing. Is there any shift that's
Right.
noticeable?
Totally. Because
So,
that gold light that you send through that tube, it really does stuff. It cleanses and purifies and releases any of those attachments in there. So yeah, it'll be an interesting experiment to see like what shows up for both of you, like the difference between in the people and the relationship with the person. Mhm. They might call you out of random. They might be a little more open, a little more like connected. They might be a little, you might notice the shifts and even notice the little subtle ones, because
mhm,
that does make a difference.
mhm,
And
mhm.
especially with you, because I mean, it's really about you anyway at the end of the day. Awesome. Well done, both of you. Yay. So would you practice this again on your own?
You know what? I'm so bad. I really, that's why I love to come, because I benefit so much more in community or with somebody else.
Sure.
I just sort of feel like, and especially with you, because I think you're so high vibe.
Oh, thanks, Sheridan.
Yeah, no, I think it helps me really tune in
Mm-hmm.
a way that is more difficult for me to do on my own.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's good to have guides. We need someone to guide us.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And thank you so much for saying that, Sheridan. That means a lot. Yeah.
And I would agree too. I'm the same way. I have a hard time putting aside the time for myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a group that I can really commit, make a commitment to be there in the moment. Yeah, it helps a lot.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Well, I do these once a month. I'm not going to do it next month because next month is I got too much stuff going on. October is usually a pretty busy month. Heather and I have a festival. You know about the Mystical Festival, Sheridan, we're doing?
I have been seeing that.
Come on, girl. Come on.
So
Yeah.
where is
It's in Sebastopol.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a roaming character at one point, and then I'm going to be in total costume. You're not going to see me. Like you're not going to know it's me. Or you might, who knows?
Still too.
Maybe. And then I'm going to be doing a performance with my friend Astra. She's a musician, and I'm going to be doing like a sound healing performance as a character. So it'll be really cool. We have musicians, other roaming characters. We have vendors, food. I mean, it's going to be a really cool experience.
The event on.
What's that?
Who's putting the event on?
Me.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes. It's wonderful. This will be our 3rd year.
Okay.
Where do you live, Sheridan?
I'm in the East Bay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a little jaunt for me, but you know what? I come to Chris's events.
You do.
I think I may have met you once before.
It's possible. Heather floats around a lot up here with different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you come to Evolution?
No, I didn't get to come to
Oh,
I know.
I'm going to be doing another one. I've already booked my next one for next year. It's in March.
I know. So I'm hopeful for that one.
Yay, me too.
So
Well, if you need a place to stay, if you don't want to do the drive like in one day, we have camping available at Wonderland where the festival will be. So
okay. And
Yeah.
where is it? Where's
in
one?
Sebastopol at Miss Daisy's Magical Wonderland, which is
You know what, Chris, you did an event there.
oh
Okay, and I was gonna come, and it was so hot that day. It was really hot. You were doing a dance party.
Yes, that's right. I was DJing.
Yeah. So I was gonna come that day, and and in fact, the lady Maria that came to the last sound healing, I was trying to grab her to go, but she was like leaving on vacation, and so it didn't end up like gelling for me to come.
Totally.
So,
I get it.
yeah.
Well, if you get the space, try and come. It's on October 21st.
Okay.
And it starts at what time, Heather? 12 or 1?
2 o'clock.
Oh, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be performances all day and all kinds of stuff happening. It's just a really neat experience with vendors. There's healers. I mean, there's food. People making crafty things. It's just a really neat experience. I had a great time last year, and it was, my daughter was there, and there's other kids there. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to put it on my calendar.
Oh, October 21st. Gonna be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sounds fun. Sounds good times.
You bet. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming. And to whoever's listening to this pre-recorded version, thank you so much for your ears and your time to listen and practice this energy cord thing, and then make some notes for yourself, especially because when you notice that you are the one doing the work, it just really solidifies that, oh, I did this, I can do it again, and just, again, make notes of any changes that you get, because it's really for you.
Will we have the recording that we can use to do this again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just recorded it. I'll put it on Dropbox and I can send it to both of you if you want.
I love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, sounds great. So thank you guys for coming. And then I will see you next month. Definitely Sheridan. Yes.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm doing
Yeah,
a
you-
meditation
you.
with your group tomorrow. That's right. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'll see you tomorrow. And then
Yes,
hopefully
ma'am.
we'll see you in the flesh next month. And I also am doing a sound healing Sheridan on October 15th.
Oh, I'll be there for that for sure.
Yay!
2
I love
weekends
that.
in a
It's
row.
on. So Heather, this is on. If you want to come, please come, Heather. It's on a new moon solar eclipse in our sign, Heather,
Oh, really?
in
Ooh,
Libra.
is it on a
Yes.
Monday
Sunday,
or a Sunday? Okay. What time on Sunday?
12:15.
Okay.
Oh, it's an
Mhm.
early one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12:15.
Okay.
It's going to be a power-packed day with that new moon eclipse. Woof.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Where
good.
will it be located?
The same place that I did evolution, the Sebastopol Community Center, the Youth Annex building. I'm also going to have a crystal grid there. It's gonna
Oh,
be fun.
cool.
Yeah, to anchor in the
That sounds
energies. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. So October 15th.
Okay.
I'll be
Awesome.
there.
Try to make it. Yeah.
Yay, cool. All right, ladies. Well, happy cord cutting.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Chris.
welcome.
All
And
right.
then again,
Hey.
I'll see you in the next one in November.
Yes.
Okay. Bye,
Nice to
ladies.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, have a great evening.
Okay. All
Bye.
right. Bye.